So what if I told you that even in a world where AI can literally write code in seconds or generate crazy lifelike art, there are still jobs it absolutely cannot replace? I know the daily headlines can induce a lot of anxiety, but the truth is some careers are completely safe from AI. And it's not because the technology is weak, not at all. It's because some roles require a distinctly human spark that you just can't code.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely shift our mindset. Let's just move away from that scary, dystopian, human versus AI scenario we always hear about, and instead look at a way more empowering human plus AI future. We're going to uncover the specific human traits that make certain professions absolutely irreplaceable. Okay, let's dive into this and look at the core of what's actually happening here. AI's sweet spot, it's replacing repetitive tasks, doing deep data processing, and handling highly predictable work. But, and this is a big but, it completely fails at human emotion, moral responsibility, and navigating our chaotic physical reality. AI isn't replacing everything, it's really just taking over the predictable stuff. To unpack all of this, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the real truth about AI. Then, we'll explore three big pillars of irreplaceable human skills: empathy, physical adaptability, and high-stakes judgment. Finally, we'll wrap things up with a guide on how to future-proof yourself.
Section 1. The real truth about AI and the critical difference between tasks and careers.
Which brings us to Section 2. Empathy and human connection, and the sheer power of deep understanding.
Just think about teachers, psychologists, or social workers. They're incredibly safe because of that human edge. Like, sure, an AI can feed a student a list of facts, right? But a human teacher, they actually notice a silent struggle in the back of the classroom. An AI can definitely offer a simulated text chat, but a real psychologist understands trauma by reading body language or interpreting a long silence. Machines simply cannot replace the feeling of being genuinely, truly cared for.
It all boils down to empathy, the ability to genuinely understand and share the feelings of another person. While an AI can totally be programmed to spit out empathetic-sounding words, at the end of the day, it's just code executing a script. It doesn't actually care. In moments of real distress or during deep learning, we humans inherently require another human who truly gets us.
Section 3. Real-world physical adaptability and navigating the unpredictable. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, while AI is absolutely brilliant in a neat, tidy digital interface, our physical reality is incredibly messy. This is exactly why skilled trades like plumbers, electricians, mechanics, and emergency responders thrive here. There's actually this concept in computer science called Moravec's paradox. It basically says that high-level reasoning is super easy for AI, but basic, everyday human motor skills, incredibly difficult. No two broken pipes or emergencies are ever exactly the same, which means you need real-time physical adaptability.
Our source material puts it perfectly. There is no fixed pattern in the physical world. Think about it. When a plumber opens up a wall in a 100-year-old house, there is no algorithm for what they might find in there. It's totally unpredictable. Until robots become incredibly advanced and, cheap enough to just dispatch to your house on a random Tuesday, these hands-on roles are highly, highly secure.
Moving on to Section 4. High-stakes judgment and creativity. This is the uniquely human domain of making meaning and moral choices. Let's look at some seemingly totally diverse roles, like doctors, judges, entrepreneurs, or even creative directors and chefs. Sure, a surgeon might use AI to analyze an MRI quicker, but the human is the one making that unpredictable life-or-death call in the operating room. A judge understands human intent and social impact, not just raw legal text. And chefs? They rely entirely on sensory intuition, taste, smell, texture. Things a computer literally cannot experience. No way. So the crucial point is this idea of moral responsibility. We, as a society, simply do not trust machines with our lives, our freedom, or our complex ethical choices. A machine can't be put on the stand and held accountable in a court of law, right? That burden, and honestly that privilege, belongs exclusively to us humans. And it's a very similar story when we talk about creativity. Like, yes, AI can totally generate a stunning image or write a catchy little song, but it is really just imitating patterns it learned from existing data. Human artists, creative directors, and creators, they draw from actual life experience, culture, and deep emotion. Basically, AI imitates, but humans originate. Finally, Section 5. How to future-proof yourself and really survive and thrive in the AI era.
First off, we need to completely internalize this one reality. AI is not replacing entire careers, it is replacing tasks inside careers. This is a massive paradigm shift, a real game changer. It takes us away from that totally paralyzing panic of losing our livelihoods and grounds us back in reality. Your job isn't disappearing, guys. Honestly, just the boring, repetitive parts of it are.
And this brilliantly illustrates our ultimate end goal: human plus AI. Doctors are going to use AI to quickly scan research. Teachers will use it to draft up lesson plans on the fly. In almost every white-collar job, AI is just going to act as an insanely powerful assistant. The professionals who adopt AI as a tool, they are going to stay miles ahead of those who just sit back and fear it.
So, here is your concrete survival guide. First, you gotta double down on your emotional intelligence. Connecting with people is literally more valuable now than ever before. Next, sharpen your critical thinking so you can actually analyze AI outputs with real-world context. Cultivate original creativity drawn from your own life experiences. If you can, definitely learn some hands-on physical skills. And finally, master AI. Learn to prompt it, guide it, and use the whole shebang to amplify your uniquely human edge.
Let's anchor all of this with a deeply empowering thought straight from our source material. The future does not belong to AI alone. It belongs to humans who know how to use it wisely. Because at the end of the day, the jobs that rely on deep trust, physical presence, raw creativity, and complex moral judgment, they are always going to need you.
So, knowing what you know now about empathy, physical adaptability, and moral judgment, I want you to ask yourself, how will you evolve your skills to work alongside AI? The tools are out there for absolutely anyone to use, for sure. But that human edge, well, that is entirely yours.